Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of the Gym Owners Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Stone. Over there is John Fairbanks. How you doing, John?
I am wonderful.
Good. That's really good to hear.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome to the show. Real quick stuff. Make sure you follow the show on Instagram at Gym Owners Podcast, or at the Gym Owners Podcast. Follow me at Tyler Effenstone, John at JBanksFL. Go to gymownersrevolution.com if you want to see what it takes to work with us directly on your gym, in your gym, making your business kick ass for yourself, your clients, and your bank account. Link in description for our show, or in the show notes, will take you to the Facebook group for the Gym Owners Revolution. Everything else, yeah, just tune into the show. You'll be fine. So, guys, the show for gym owners here, we're trying to cover some pretty interesting trends that have been popping up regarding stuff that's been pitched at you guys as gym owners. There's been a ton of pretty crazy stuff thrown your guys' way over the course of the last, I think, 5-6 years. The fitness business consulting space has gotten really weird, and maybe we're just two people contributing to the weirdness. I don't know, but it is like fucking pretty nuts, and we stay in a lot of the same circles, and we manage social media for a lot of gyms. So god damn it, do we see, if you guys are in the same algorithm I am in regards to what they're throwing at you gym owners right now, trying to get you to bite on, it's pretty nuts. Before we get into that, I want to tell you guys a story from yesterday. So yesterday I was coaching at the martial arts gym there, and so guy comes walking in. It's in the middle of class, teaching jiu-jitsu. The middle class guy comes walking in, and this guy does not look like he's there for combat sports. I'm going to tell you that. He's probably in his very late 50s, frail, weird, out of shape, whatever, right? And I try not to judge when people come in the door. It's a good little lesson for your gym owners to have, coaches and salespeople, is that sometimes people just walk in, and I don't like to just immediately go, yeah, you ain't here for this, because stuff can be for anybody. It may not be for everybody, but it can be for anybody. This guy comes walking in, but he didn't belong there. I just, it was, so I asked him, I said, hey, I just throw it right away. Hey, you looking to get signed up? I just throw, that was the first thing
right out the gate.
Because we get looky-loos, because we're kind of on a busy street. So you'll get people who just wander in and want to see what's going on, which is fine. But then I need to know that. So I can tell them to just sit down and watch, and I'll do the stuff and I'll be with them, because I was in the middle of some stuff. And so I just throw it right away. Yeah, you're looking to get signed up or get started? And usually the answer is yes, and then it goes into a conversation, right? Or
Sure.
No, maybe just looking or want to see. Whatever that is saves me some bullshit when I'm the only one there, right? And so I just threw this at that guy, hoping he'd go, no, I was just seeing what was in here and then leaving. But instead he goes, yeah, kind of. And I'm like, fucking what the fuck? It's like 6 people in here. You know what I mean? I was like, okay. So I get up and walk over to him, and real quickly you can tell that there's something wrong with this guy. And he's all fidgety, hands are in his pockets, very shifty. And then he keeps asking me what belt I have. I said, well, I'm sitting here in no gi, bud. Like, there ain't no belts here. It's just me and whoever. That's not really relevant to the situation. Are you asking me if I'm qualified to be coaching? Is that the question? I have no clue. But I knew right away I didn't want to deal with him, and then I knew for sure he wasn't going to be doing anything. So I wrote down the owner of this gym's phone number. I said, hey, give him a call or hit up his website. Because I asked the guy, you got your phone? I'll pull up our deal right now, and you can sign up on the website. I'll walk you through it right. I just got it right to shit or get off the pot. Like, let's go. You want to set?
Yeah.
Of course, what's guy doesn't have his phone. And this is not me trying to overcome sales objections. I want him to leave without signing up. I want him to leave fast. That's all. I didn't care. I was just trying to be professional the whole time. And then he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out a handful of about 6 shotgun shells, 4 or 5 fucking probably 9mm rounds. I think a couple rounds that were bigger, like 40 or 45, and then like a old rusted cross thing, and just sets it down to me. And he goes, I need to give this to you. I need you to have these. And then I'm like, fucker. And I was like, what do you mean? Like I said, and so I right away I knew that, and then he said the words. He says, well, because I think you're a responsible adult and you should have these instead of me. So then I go, oh, this guy's about on some fucking rampage shit or whatever. I don't know what's going on here, but this was a cry for help, and I don't want it. And I don't even want to help. I don't want to help. but I can't. So as soon as he hands me all the stuff and when he said those things, I take about a half a step back and I start to frame up my hands in case he goes for his pockets or anything like this. And the dude goes, and then so I say, okay, well, I'm Tyler. I reach out to shake his hand because then his hand's busy, right?
Right.
So I reach out to shake. I'm Tyler. So what's your name? And he hesitates. Goes, Patrick. Patrick, what's your last name? And then he goes, just Patrick. And I go, you got to leave now, Patrick. Then the moment you're not giving me any of this, you give me bullets, seems a bit threatening. You need to fucking leave.
You give me bullets.
So you got to go. We'll take care of these, but you got to, it's just escort him right out there. Call the cops. Cops coming. The nice thing about this part of the country is that, like, for the most part, your mentally ill people that are out and about, they're pretty harmless. You know what I mean? Like in this case here, the cops were like, we've ran into this guy before, of course. You know what I mean? He's around. He's like, he really is harmless. He just said that he thought that you guys were like peaceful people because you train martial arts, and that since he has these and doesn't want to have them, he thought you were, I don't know, maybe he thought we had some sort of fucking crazy discipline that we're really meant to be trusted with this great power of your fucking bullets or whatever. But it was,
are you guys like a munitions drop-off location that you aren't aware of?
Yeah, we're what do you call it? An amnesty free zone. Just drop off your guns and drugs to us. Dude, it's nuts, man. Dude, so I call the cops. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Just go get him, check him. My only concern would be one, the guy goes down and dusts himself. You know,
right.
like this is a wellness check on him, but also don't let him maybe wander to a school or to anywhere where there's a crowd of people. Like, go check on this guy.
He goes, I only need one bullet, and I have the
so you can have
so I'll be fine. You can have the rest of these. I only need one of these.
Put them all in the fucking garbage. I don't,
anywhere.
God damn. But that's just it was a day in the life, just a regular old morning. And then I got a call, the guy that owns the spot. I'm like, yo, because I think he's been in before doing some kind of weird stuff like a year ago, something similar, where if it was there was just two people there and him, and if it would have just been one-on-one, the guy was like probably going to have to physically take him outside. Not because it was risky necessarily in hindsight, but because we don't know if it's risky, and all the red flags are popping up. So if you got funny stories about that, I always loved the stories of, who was it? I think it was CrossFit LA, Ronnie Teasdale's old CrossFit gym that was in like Skid Row in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
And there's all those stories of just like vagrants coming in, and we don't have that around here. Our winter,
it's too rough.
Purges the outside life pretty intensely. So yeah, if you got any funny stories about that, I would love to hear some of those, because we don't get a lot of that around here. And boy, that was the most exciting fucking morning jiu-jitsu class I've ever had. Like, I thought I was going to have to grab him because he kept fiddling. After he hands the bullets, he keeps reaching in his pockets, getting claimed. I was like, I'm going to have to hold him to the ground until the police get here. And everyone in class is going to have to see whether my shit's legit or not.
How hard has Tyler been working? I love that too.
Is he any good at this? Can he physically detain somebody who's 150 pounds lighter than him with no training? You better be able to.
And the best part is too, if you're thinking about being a gym owner, just know these will be the issue. These will be some of the things that you will get to deal with on a regular basis.
Phone call from me at 10 o'clock in the morning while that gym is at his other job, because that's the nature of owning a lot of gyms. He's working his other job, getting blown up about, the crazies are bringing guns and ammo into your fucking, it's nuts. But anyway, speaking of red flags, there's a lot of new stuff that's getting thrown out there at you gym owners, and it has been really interesting to see. I don't know if the algorithm is evolving. I'd like to think that I'm like the center of the universe, and this is like the trends that are getting out there. But these fitness business consultants have been riding very hard the X amount of members and X amount of days game. That's always been the pitch that they're giving to gym owners, right? That's been pretty saturated. I guess it's probably, I'm trying to always put these things into terms for you with your clients. It would be like you as a gym advertising, lose 30 pounds in 30 days, maybe.
Right.
Is that a similar level of short-sighted? Maybe, but like the goals you really would want, right? And as far as a hook goes, like that would work, in my opinion, if I could guarantee that to whoever, right? 30 pounds in 30 days, that would be
or we
People
work with you
probably
for
sign
free.
up. People would inquire, right?
Yep.
Um, but that's not how any of those things actually go. Like, first off. Second, a lot of the times what they're doing to get you those leads or those signups is doing challenges. Challenges were the thing for a long time. And that's Gym Launch just playing old Facebook games and doing essentially unbranded, running ads to unbranded challenges for your gym and just packing you in and letting you sort it out. But God damn it, now the thing has shifted to like larger, crazier claims because 30 members in 30 days isn't that cool compared to 50 members in 30 days. And it turns into like what is that? Is that Half Baked where the guy's like got 7-minute abs? It's 1 minute faster than 8-minute abs. And
Yep.
this is what these things turn into. I saw 150 members in 100 days. This is the new gym owner math. And it's gym owner consultant math, which is like fake ass numbers that aren't that relevant and will not be how it goes down. They're doing the same thing to you. You're doing the same thing to consider that as when your clients go like, you have how many members times how much money is a membership? Jesus, you
Right.
must be swimming in it. There's no other components to this business at all, right? And so, but these things continue to change and continue to evolve. That now there's people saying, John, we're not running this scammy challenges, scammy 6-week challenge. We're running a new 6-week challenge. We're like, well, what the fuck? It's
New
the same
12-week
thing.
challenge.
Or yeah, you were talking to somebody the other day who said some of these people come out and they go, oh yeah, we don't run that scammy 6-week challenges. We run 12-week challenges instead. And the problem is I don't want to shit on challenges because I view a challenge to me is just a program. It's just a program.
Right.
I sell a 5-week training program. That's diet and this, but it's a process. It's a thing that I have built that we do, that I sell as a personal trainer, both in person and remote. And so I'm not like opposed to a challenge. I am opposed to that being the access point to my business, the only one. The other thing about this is when they say we don't do 6-week challenges because those are scammy and shitty, we're going to take the high road and say we do 12-week challenges. Well, I probably know what they're getting at with that, right? Is that like, well, you can't really get a ton of results in 6 weeks. You need to be consistent for 12 weeks and yada, 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 right? But you're still selling challenge. And the component that you're selling to this gym owner, right, that the gym owner is going to have to execute on, it's all the same thing as if it was a 5 or 6 week challenge. It's just a slightly bigger ticket. But what are they really giving you as a gym owner? Canned product or whatever and branding.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to run ads to it.
Yep.
And some copy and like that. But that is all this really is. And it's you gym owners out there should be very concerned when this stuff is done for you. A done for you play for you and your fitness business is, you got to be pretty, your guard needs to be up when it seems like they're going to plug this thing into your business and it will produce X amount of leads. That's just, it's when I get a client who comes in, a fitness client who wants to lose 30 pounds and they want me to just do it for them. They don't want to change the way that they eat. They don't really want to work out that much. Well, then like getting these results is not a thing that you're going to get to have. You know what I mean? You have to tell them like, this cannot be done for you, not in a way that's going to be impactful for the long term. And for you as a gym owner, you start coming into this stuff. It's like, oh, these people are just going to run ads and we're going to get good leads, not bad leads. We're going to get good members, not bad members. We're going to get people signed up and they're going to run through a program that really works and is going to help them and make them endear themselves to our business, not some third party fucking trainerized program that's being ran, automated completely.
Why do those things exist though? Like there's a lot of data, right? There's a lot of data that they're working off of for why those things, one, sound appealing to you as a gym owner, and two, they work because for you as a gym owner, what they're proposing is that you're going to do, the odds are you're not running a program that's balls to the walls, that's running to try and anticipate, hundreds of leads that are coming in every single week. And then like the proposal is like drinking through a fire hydrant.
Yep.
Like that's what the proposal is. And if you're in a spot where, do you need more members? Is that why you've reached out to them? Is that what you're looking for? Well, yeah, that's why you got hooked into their algorithm to begin with. So then it's, well, I need more. I technically need more money, But that translates to me right now that I need more members and I need more people in my gym. And so all they say is, we'll automate this because you don't have enough time. You don't have enough time to do all these things. So we'll just make it automatic. And the problem is that if you are a gym that has a certain stereotype or stigma or community that you've built, that you're tight knit, you quickly realize how misaligned all their swipe files, all their tricks, all their gimmicks are. And now that's your business. So before you didn't have time to go hunt and do all these pieces and build this out yourself. So now you've just paid top dollar for them to give you a canned product. And now what you get to be is the person to chase down leads or someone to be able to figure out if this person even speaks the same language that you do, if the person's dead or not, that's now on your lead sheet. Like it's all of these things that you have to now deal with. And it doesn't mean, as we talked with Austin out of San Jose, when we talked to him, he even talked about the whole idea where it's like even the leads that he got when he did run this for his spot, it was none of that. Like it's the percentage of people that kicked over to actually stay with him in the gym outside of that initial challenge was so low because the people were not ready to want to be able to work with him in the capacity of what his gym actually did well. And I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many times we talk. It's so consistent that when I sit down and I talk to a gym owner about their experience working in these systems, is they wanted a system. They wanted a process that was proven, that has been successful, right? So their heart's in the right spot. Did they get that? Yes.
Yeah.
The problem
It's
is
just
the
not there.
system is so misaligned,
Yeah.
right? That it just was like now they're, well, do you need more leads? Well, no. I have 600 people on a lead sheet that I have to now spend the next year to be able to go through, and I don't even know if they're good or not.
There's a concept too that you only get one chance to make a first impression, right? And I think that's really true. And what a lot of these challenges do, or especially on the consulting side, where they're just acquiring leads for you or jamming membership inquiries your way, is that you're farming out the access point to your business, meaning that what that product is, what the ads that people are seeing before they find your business, the business, essentially the moment that somebody is choosing to turn that corner to make a change in their lives, or at least just do this new thing, right? Depending on how in depth your system is. Someone's going to go up and join your gym, sign up, hire you as a personal trainer, or do one of your programs. It would be really nice if that process accurately represented you and your business and what you do and helped your clients actually. Because if it feels turn and burn, if it feels scammy, if it feels cold and inhumane, if it feels like it's just being executed on an app that could be done by literally anyone anywhere, that now when these people go to sign up for your gym and they don't ever get to experience what you're doing, they don't get to really experience your gym. This whole thing is filtered by the same bullshit that everybody else has been doing. So if you want to be different, the best way to be different is to just do the things that you do. Now, that
Mhm.
doesn't mean you can't run a challenge or come up with an access point that is a 5 week, 6 week thing that works really well. Give you something to talk about with a start and finish. But it kind of should be, I'm even okay with using somebody else's framework if you want. Like, how would you execute this challenge? What are the bones, the communications, whatever this is going to be? I'm not opposed to challenges at all. I've had to say this many times because it sounds like I shit on their stuff all the time. I'm not opposed to the idea of a fitness challenge to get people into your business as long as it's there to represent your business.
Mhm.
And some of these things are totally detached. It's just like sending somebody somewhere else. And it doesn't really it does I would love to see. I think the reason, if these things can deliver you 30 to 50 members, new members in 30 days, the reason that it can do that is because because it has to, because the system
Hey,
fucking sucks as a whole and none of these people are staying. If you need 30 new members in a month is one thing. If you need 30 new members every month, your gym fucking sucks. Your business sucks. People aren't staying with you. Your product sucks. There's a lot of other problems there. If you need 30 new members every month, you're failing at a lot of other things. And stuffing more water down on the front end of that is not going to stop it.
and do you realize they know that? So
Yeah.
any consultant that's gonna sell you 30 members in 30 days, 50 members in 50 days, whatever it is, it does. They know that that is not sustainable because it doesn't make sense unless your attrition is sitting at like 30%. They cannot stay employed by you probably much longer than 90 days. So
Unless you need
they are going to get
it.
their pound of flesh out of you. Like there's a reason why it's going to cost you so much money because they have to make it worth it. So in order for them to get you that many people and for it to be a one trick pony, one, they're going to have to run a fuck ton of money behind ads because they need a constant flow of gym owners to be able to prey upon to
Yeah.
put that system
Their
in.
their client acquisition strategy is
Oh,
pretty heavy. There's a reason you guys are seeing 1 million of the same ads. They're throwing a lot of money to get at you.
and once they get you, they've got you, and now they're going to get top dollar. And of course, Tyler, after whether it's 6-week challenges that you're selling or 12-week challenges that you're selling, now that you are selling it, because now you've just gotten hooked for X amount of thousands of dollars to then do this one particular thing. How are you going to pay for it? So as the gym owner, what's the very next thing that they want to see you do in order to be able to cover that nut that's their nut? How are they going to make it worth it? Well, they're going to cannibalize 20% of your population in our favorite red flag, paid in full.
Paid in full is wild. So, by the way, it's viable fundamentally. It's a paid in full play is viable for you as a gym owner to inquire about a certain amount, a certain percentage of people that are already going to be at your gym, right? It's not I don't mind gym owners offering a paid in full option to a select few amount of people. Same principles that they roll out with these paid in full plays. The problem is if a consultant is coming in asking you to run paid in full play, what he's really saying is now you need to borrow money from yourself, from your future to pay us now to
Yep.
continue this. And it's going to seem really interesting because the cash flow will pop right away. And this is the biggest impact we see when gyms get on board. They start running some stuff. They get a little bit of cash going, then they run paid in full, and all of a sudden they're like, I got an extra $70,000
Yep.
this month, and it's like, damn. Now the consultant's going to take half of that, and then the rest you're going to have to run at paying their ads people to run their stuff. You're just what they're really doing is asking you, why don't you go borrow money and just pay us? And they'll keep it going until like it's not. But they got to be paid right up front, right away. Also, like on this scale, because you're not going to be there in 2 years. You just won't be. So it's like they need to get it all, and they need you to essentially sell out the rest of your year in order for it to make sense. So they get their nut, and now you're on your own, whether you execute it or not, whether it works for you or not, whether this flow of leads that you are getting is sustainable. But now you're dependent on it because you need the new influx of traffic because you've liquidated about 25% of your yearly revenue to now pay to keep this flood of traffic going. And so these people end up eating a lot of shit. And the problem is, I've had this, John. We worked with gym owners. We've helped them execute these things when we worked for the gym owner that was just needing us to help execute these other plays that someone else was sending them. And we go through this, and we've all been in those rooms and on those calls. And you get excited. You're like, fuck yeah, like plus 90 grand since we turned this plan. Very nice. It gives you a lot of flexibility, that cash flow. And then you start to see what goes on afterwards. And then it's like, that money is going to their ads people, and it's way overpriced. For some reason, you'd think that huge influx of traffic that you get, all these inquiries, all these leads, that wouldn't drop off about as soon as you pass that and turn that initial, but it does. Once you turn that initial corner, your market gets a little saturated. The inquiries, you've scraped all the easiest low-hanging fruit. You've got them all. And now becomes it's bad leads. It's really, really, really expensive cost per click, cost per acquisition, cost per lead. All these things, these metrics start to suck, and your gym continues to churn and burn. And there you are. You're left with a gym where your brand has been devalued. You've run a ton of clients through your system, a system that is not yours, that is kind of shitty, sucks, ineffective, doesn't really deliver results, certainly doesn't endear them to your business or your brand at all. So people keep falling off, and now you're stuck on that teat, and you need it. You need those leads, need those leads, and you're going to keep overpaying, and you're going to continue to overpay until it all breaks. But guess who gets their money? Everyone but you, the gym owner.
And fundamentally, like for the gym owners that we want to work with, you don't believe, you believe in this statement, right? It's teach a man to fish versus give a man a fish. So fundamentally, you should, in your core, the idea is that you don't want to just give your clients the fish. You want to teach them how to be able to do it for themselves so that they can have autonomy and they can move forward and take care of their lives and do all of these important things. So you believe that fundamentally, if you're a good, in my opinion, if you're a good coach and a good human, that's what you believe. But you allow wolves to come into your business that do not believe in that fundamental principle of what it means to be a good person. And they have set up their business to be the epitome of giving fish, never going to teach you how, so that you stay dependent. They're drug peddlers. It's like the idea where they get you hooked, and now you are dependent upon your dealer to be able to keep your business going. And this is why we talk about it all the time with the idea of you got to keep your soul intact.
Yeah.
And this perceived desperation that you have or desire to want to be successful allows you to lower those barriers, to drop those guards, and to allow wolves to come in. And surprise, surprise, that your business begins to not look anything like what you anticipated it was supposed to look like or feel like. You thought you got into the business because you wanted to help people. You wanted to coach. You didn't want to have a boss. You want to do all these things. And now you're in the business of what, Tyler? Following up on leads, perfecting your ability to trick somebody into shit that they don't want.
Delivering PowerPoint presentations as your sales thing, like in person in your gym, like that sucks. It just sucks. And it's not you go to buy a car and a guy's going to sit down and deliver a PowerPoint presentation to you. Fuck that guy. No way. Like, what are we looking at? What are we signing up? What are we doing? Okay, perfect. Let's do this. Let's talk like people here. And by the way, it's faster. This other stuff is like, it's so inefficient and it's obnoxious. And my biggest gripe about it though still is that it's not yours. Like,
Yeah.
you don't farm out hardly the good gyms, especially ones that do like group classes and stuff like this, and ones that do personal training. They're so unreasonably guarded about hiring new staff and letting new coaches loose because it's like, oh, they got to coach the way I want them to coach, or they're not ready. It's like all that is dumb, but whatever. You're going to have to get over it and somehow let people do the work that they need to do to get good. But gym owners are so guarded about putting talent out in front of their members, right?
Mm-hmm.
But instead they'll completely have the entire product that's the access point for somebody's first time entering your business. All the correspondence be done completely scripted by somebody else, built for somebody else's business. And they think you can just plug and play it and it's going to work and it's going to attract the right people and it's going to deliver. And that's the part I don't understand is you're so worried about your brand. You won't let just anybody coach your kids or coach your classes or coach your program because it's special. It's special. You let Gym Launch come and do just some dumb, lame, predatory shit that is so saturated now that every consultant is just mimicking it. That like on the consumer end, every fitness person has seen and smelled all of these out from any different gym. They've run into this weird challenge, semi-big ticket bullshit. And it's all bait and switch and strange. No, it's free if you don't. Ugh. It's the biggest, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like hypocrisy a little bit that I see where these gym owners are just going to let somebody come in and control everything when somebody approaches your business, which is nuts. That should be the moment where you should be being a human and being a person and caring about your product. That's when that is the time to be a human, not to give that off to somebody else. That doesn't mean you as a gym owner needs to be the one doing the stuff, but if someone comes in and wants to sign up and they should be given choices, right? They should be given options. What if someone isn't into a challenge but wants personal training? What if they want gym access? Like none of this is even in these plays that are being built is what the actual pathway in and through and around your business is. It's all just plug and play dumb shit. And that's the thing that's the strangest to me is that gym owners want the members. So in return, they're just going to close their eyes and let people just pile them up at their door, thinking whatever they want to think about what the program is or getting whatever type of experience some consultant wants to make sure that their clients have.
A-
It's unbelievably short-sighted.
And we're so careful with like anything because you know that because you all are coaches first, it's anything that's been you do not respect the clear conflict of anything that's done for you in your business where because I see this all the time where it is like does anybody want like my cut and paste scripts for fill in the blank, right? Whatever that
Yeah.
happens to be. And the idea is like, well, I just want this done for me so I don't have to think about it. And then I can just happen and I can make money while I sleep because that's the goal. But if you reverse it to what you all know from a coaching perspective, if you had somebody come to you and said, I wanted to lose 30 pounds, 10 pounds, I want to get stronger, I want to do whatever, fill in the blank. What if it, why don't you provide a done for you solution
Yeah.
where you just do it for them? Because it's the equivalent of what you're doing on the business side. So why does that not work? Why does that not work for somebody that wants it done for them the way you want it done for you in your business? Because people have to like, you have to do the fucking work.
Yeah.
Like if it's going to work, you have to actually be ready to do a fucking thing.
So what is the pathway though, John? So for a gym owner that needs more members, right? They do. They need more money. They need more members, whatever it is. Like, obviously, I don't think neglecting new client acquisition is a strategy that I would recommend
No.
either. I just don't think, I guess our kind of take on this issue is there are many ways to get new members. And I think you should find some that you want to be moving forward with and
Mhm.
continue to tinker with others as you go. But everything needs to be in alignment with your brand. Meaning, if you want to run a challenge, what if your first instinct when you hear about a 6-week challenge is to clam up? Like, oh, that's gross, scammy shit. Perfect. Perfect. Now, what would you do to make a 6-week program that's a process? A really what would craft the most ideal 6 weeks for someone to come into your gym? What do they do? Is there nutrition help in there? Like, what does somebody's first 6 weeks look like if it's ideal for their transformation? Right? Maybe it's as simple as like they start with certain amounts of classes, then they get a personal training session here or there. You want to make sure maybe they get some wins in there because if I'm optimized just for what? Getting their money in, or even worse, optimized for flawless, perfect technical training. Well, these people then are going to spend 6 weeks and not see any results either. So one of the
Mhm.
things you need to balance was like they need wins early on to stay in. So I don't mind even pushing somebody on the nutrition a bit hard in the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then we kind of shift it to something they need to learn. So my 5-week program is truly a learning process. That's what I do. I said, what is exactly the wins and process that I want somebody to go through when they're going to start to get them from wherever they are to this certain 5-week down the road endpoint. And that is truly 100% ethically aligned with how I feel as a coach. And it is wildly successful. And you as a gym owner, that's what I want you to take when you think challenge. Nah, fuck that. It's stupid scam. Okay, well, I need you to know why. And what's a way that that could be done better? Because at some point you may want to run a program. Why wouldn't you? It's attractive. People like it. So do it better than everybody else, and it will be better than everybody else.
Because it's yours.
It's yours.
The reason why it's your program is so successful is because you have built it based off of what you have. It's the equivalent for me where somebody's just like from using a football analogy. It's like if I run a certain offense or I run a certain defense, like ideologically, it's like no, 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 no. I do this. This is what I do. You know the biggest problem with being a coach saying this is all that I do? It neglects the players.
Yes.
It is in contrast, completely it ignores who are the actual horses that you have. Because if you don't have the dudes to run offense A versus offense B, you can't be an offense A guy because now you're shoving a round peg into a square hole. You can't, or reverse, right? Whatever it is, you cannot do it. And it's the equivalent for you in your business. You have to build with what you've got. If you are a gym and you have successfully been open, if you are a good coach and you are successful with people, you have enough. You already have everything that you need. And I like what you proposed, Tyler, because it is It's a thought exercise.
Yes,
Take the
it's like be
premise, take
better
the thought
than
ex
this. Be
Yeah,
better than just being a fucking hater. Because, like I said, there's a reason John and I will sit here and bitch about these challenges and gym launch and all the clone. There's not. I say gym launch, but gym launch is a type now. It's just
synonymous.
clone launch.
Yeah,
Okay, so you have all these clone launch gyms that are out there, but that's the reality. Is I go, this stuff sucks. I think it's kind of, and then I think that like we need to think pretty hard about how this could be done better because they're not wrong. They're not completely wrong about it. It's producing revenue for people somewhere.
correct.
It is getting people interested. So there are components of this that move the needle, that work. They're just writing all the wrong parts. You know what I mean? And it's too soulless. So I just think that you guys, these thought exercises are important because out of those thought exercises usually becomes good programs. Let's talk how we took that one step further because we've done this recently with my program, the one that I do.
Yep.
Another thought exercise I went through, which is like, I'm getting guys who are interested. This program is made for guys who are relatively new to training or dudes just trying to get into shape. I'm not, if you've been doing CrossFit for 5 fucking years and you're fit and eating right, like if you're paying for a coach online, like good for you, but I'm not that guy. I don't care. I don't care about you or your problems, right? That's not the impact I'm trying to have in the world is to get fit people fitter or make fitness dorks more fit dorks. It just doesn't really matter to me. The getting into the minutia of how this limb works and this limb works is like really just not that impactful to a person and their fitness. It's just not. It's not that valuable to you as a coach. So when we go through this process for my program, it was for gyms or for clients who are new. I got a bunch of weight tools. I need to get started, get them from zero,
Yeah.
right? And we've had really, really, really good success selling it and with the results that they get, right? That the outcomes is what it's all dialed. And I keep dialing it in to make sure that we don't, where the drop off points are, make sure the guys are held accountable, that we get them all the way across that finish line and they're equipped. My biggest metric that I use is how much weight do people continue to lose after the program is over. My plus
Yeah.
4 week metric is the one that's most important to me. Not what they do within the program, because that's going to happen if they do it. But does it really have a lasting impact? That matters to me. Now, in selling that program, offering that program, I get guys that are interested, and I can feel I don't have time to work out 3 or 4 days a week. I don't have time, or even worse, I'm not a gym guy, and I don't think I'm just going to become one overnight. Well, and I tell my people that just want to do workout stuff. What do I tell them all the time? You got to fix food is everything. You're not going to lose weight and just work out hard. And that's not going to work either. So I thought for these guys that are struggling, so what if I just extend this thing out here where it's talk about this? It's borderline a done for you hook, right? So can almost sound scammy, except I've built it ethically and it works really well. So now we have a thing that sounds so enticing, like, hey, you want to lose some weight in the next 5 weeks? We have like an evolving diet program where you're going to start at week 1 and you're going to eat this way, and then week 2 you're going to eat this way, and you're going to learn the ways that you should feel throughout it's 5 weeks. You do not need to work out. This is not for guys that are going to work out. If you've got
Right.
weight to lose, we're addressing the food stuff first. It's the most important issue. John, I've never made an organic post that got so many DMs immediately. So this is the issue for you as a fitness professional. As a gym owner, I think that it's important to know that if you want to have an impact in your community, momentum starts where momentum starts. Some people will get momentum by just going to the gym and showing up and working hard, and that makes them feel better. And because of that, then they will start taking care of themselves and eating better. That's okay to have that be your sequence. It's even better if you do them both at once. But you know what also is really, really good and kind of negates the need for a lot of hard work in the gym? People just fix the way that they ate. So this is 2 separate pathways
Mhm.
that you can get to attract people to a product that is really though about the way that I do business, right? So if someone comes in on this nutrition thing only, hey, you're right, I just want to try it. Here's a couple $100. Let me try this for 5 weeks. They're checking in with me. They all want to be accountable. They're doing the stuff. They're eating right. They have a system to follow. They will be getting results. In the end, you know how many of those guys who lose 20, 30 pounds? Lots of them, especially the big boys. I got some big boys. That's the nice thing I got in my territory. We got above 300 is perfect for me because the weight loss numbers read awesome. You're gonna lose 50 pounds. Fuck yeah, that rules, right?
Right.
But when we get these guys come in, they're going to get the results. They're going to lose the weight. They're going to feel better, and they're going to feel lighter, and they're going to have more energy. And for them to keep the ball rolling, it's a natural movement for them to do, to move into some exercise, whatever that is. Or they're going to buy the program that I offer that has the workouts in it. Or they're going to hire me as a personal trainer. Or they're just going to join the gym. So all of those things start to line up now when these products that aren't on their own terrible ideas, when they're yours, when they embody your coaching philosophy with your clients in mind and deliver a real client experience, a journey from A to Z. Like, that's the thing we got to figure out. So for you guys out there, like, you don't got to retool everything that you do, but we have to start thinking about what works with these types of things, what doesn't, what principles can I extract from this concept. That sentence, in my opinion, in coaching and in business, in learning, is the most important thing, is what principles can you extract from this concept? Because then you can implement everywhere. But if you're worried about somebody's checklist and plan and done for you stuff, you're never extracting any of the useful principles that you needed out of it. So you never learn anything and you're never better. This is why you have to become the change that you want. That's it. Your business has to change your model. So you cannot just plug somebody in and say, take over my business, Hormozy. I like your nose strips for some fucking reason that nobody seemed to explain why. It's just like, whatever. And I don't hate the guy, by the way. It's just he's marketing himself very, very well. And I think for some reason, it's not about fitness businesses anymore, though, is it? So I just think you guys need to take ownership of every step of this. I guess that's like the whole thing about all of this, from the consultants to what your products are. Take ownership. It is yours. You're not going to let some idiot off the street because he did okay on Instagram just come in and start coaching all your new people. That every new person that comes in your business is meeting this person first, like getting coached by them first, corresponding with them exclusively. That's an insane amount of responsibility. And you're going to bring in someone you don't know and let them do that? Someone who might be a fucking total charlatan too, who's kind of in the business of doing this type of stuff. That's super risky to me.
And what gets really dangerous is that's what you're marketing as well.
Yes.
So the one thing that I really liked what you were talking about, where it's like as you are naturally going through these processes and you're building these things out that are perfectly aligned with who you are because you're doing them. As you share, as you market, it becomes about that thing. And this is the next problem, that when I see a gym owner come to us and they want to talk about getting started with us in the Gear Academy, what we do, the very first thing we do is we look up the gym on Google. We're going to then, through their Google listing, we'll see how many reviews they have. And then we're going to go to their website, poke around, see what their website looks like. And then from there, we go to their social media and we're going to see what they're marketing and how they're marketing, what they are marketing. And what's crazy, and so we have this natural checklist that we're going to go through because we need to make sure that they're going to be you are going to be a good fit to work with us. But what's interesting is when we start to look at the content that's being marketed, this is where things get really, really weird. And we will call out, and we do call it out a lot, of people that you are talking about the wrong things, and you're actually not talking to the people that you actually want to help. So in your heart of hearts, you want people to be successful. You want to grow your community. You want more people. You want more clients. But then we see tons of really dorky, sciencey, stupid shit that's so high level that the only way we've ever talked about it is if you're a coach, because you're really passionate about where the humorous lies in relation to an overhead squat and all this other bullshit that means nothing to 99% of the people that live in your town. It ends up looking a lot like the majority of your marketing is you are trying to just impress other coaches or other people that have the same accreditation as you, that follow the same Jesus mentors as you. And now that's where for us, it's like, yo, like if you want to help people, we should probably start talking about what you actually do and do well
for these people. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the things that you can do. Yeah. That's, like I said, we've been down this road before and we've been down this a lot, but I'll reiterate it, man. The smarter you are as a coach, nobody gives a fuck. I don't say the name of a muscle. I don't say any of this stuff. John, just like you said, all you really need to know is the knee bone's connected to the thigh bone and the thigh bone's connected to the hip bone or whatever else the fucking song goes. Like, listen, you're going to be just fine. And knowing all these inner workings with this exercise is, guys, there's shit out there where there's like, this exercise is 20% better lat activation with this angle. And while all of that stuff is probably relevant, if you as a coach who is coaching the end consumer, like coaching actual clients, like a real coach, not a poser coach, not a coach that's out here just talking about being smart. Okay. An actual coach that coaches people, you're going to know that that's not all that fucking relevant to that person at all and that they don't care. And you're going to end up picking exercises that are pain free, but also fun that they like doing more than purely optimized. And like this idea that you're going to parrot out there just this other stuff, that's what's even worse. These coaches are going to hear this information. It's smart information. It's good information.
Mhm.
It's about training. And they say out to the world, people here, this gym, we're smart. In our gym here, we know things about the shoulder. We know things about the back. We know all this stuff. And it's like nobody is looking for that. People have back pain, wish they didn't have back pain. But I promise you, they're not Googling gym to fix my back. They'll live on WebMD before you're in the top 20 list of people that they're considering. Now, you can help people who have back pain by letting them train and letting them get in shape and letting them have success and lose weight and feel better. And you can train them in ways that doesn't make it worse. And eventually things can get better. But if you're thinking that your access point is, come to us because we're intelligent, come to us because your shoulder. It's like, who gives a fuck? Nobody's coming. I'm not going to anybody for my shoulder. I'm going to somebody because I want to get jacked. I'm doing a gym because I want to get in shape. I want to coach so that they can hold me accountable and teach me cool stuff and I can learn things to get me results. I don't want a coach who's going to come in and just fucking like live in the world of my problems. Talk to me about the insides of my joints. And it's like, nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. Get me through an hour. Can we have fun? Can we have fun this hour? If I have fun working out 3 hours a week, if I really do 3 hours a week of like really enjoying it, guess what I'm going to do next week? Same thing. Guess what I'm going to do the next week? The same thing. So if training can be fun and not ineffective and not detrimental, it needs to be fun enough to get people to commit to it for a decade. Maybe not with you, but you need to light a fire that can continue to burn. And coming in and doing this silly like diagnosing shit is a huge problem. I think it's another big issue. We like assessments as a tool. I think a movement assessment is great if someone wants to do it. We've had gyms where we've had them do movement assessments, and we did overall assessments for everyone who came in. But that was an assessment based on their goals. Okay, so if someone comes in and wants to become a weightlifter, perfect. We're going to address this shoulder issue, this position. These are your limitations. Here's our plan for getting you results in the next 12 weeks. If you're a weight loss person, we're going to address nutrition. So you have a hard time with mobility here or there, whatever this is, right? It's a mapping out of the next planned action. That's really what an assessment is. But we see a lot of essentially movement screenings where it's really just a way for me to diagnose someone with a problem so I can get that hook in their lip. And then from there, I got them because now they need me because I know that problem. And we're here to work on your problem. And that problem is not going to show itself on the scale. Those successes won't show up on the scale. They won't show up in the mirror. None of your friends or family are going to know that you even work out. You are going to look the same as you always have. And that sucks. That's not why people join a gym. So do not be redirecting people's goals into stupid, dorky shit just because you're smart. Okay, it doesn't matter. You should be expected to be able to do this stuff. People should know that you know how the shoulder works. I couldn't care less as long as you can get me a good workout and my shoulder doesn't hurt because of you. I don't need to be repaired. And most people do not want just some dipshit, pretentious coach who talks like they know it all on the internet, who doesn't work with people. The coaches that are coaching coaches do not have successful gyms. They are not working with clients over the long term at all. And when they do, they're silly little fake PR moments. That's all they really are. It's completely manufactured, right? You see what's his ass, the Squat University guy, right? And I'm sure he knows lots of things. He's great, but he's small, he's weak. So it's uninteresting to me. Just uninteresting taking squat advice from a 140-pound man who squats 185. Can't pretend to care. But he's like, oh, he coaches people. He's a physio. And it's like, no, those are all photo ops. You brought in a big guy and you did a cute little assessment, but coaches get really dorky about that because now they go, oh, this guy's smart. He has expertise. I should be doing that. When I get somebody in, I should do stupid before and after pictures about how they hold their stuff overhead. Like nobody cares. Nobody's ever walked into a gym going, I want to make sure that my overhead position is better. Like that's why you're going to join a gym. That's where you're going to start working out. That's fucking nuts. Like that's not how this works. So we start putting this level of like, I don't even know what to call it, your silly little expertise, but people don't want you for that expertise. I want to lose 20 pounds. Have you helped anybody lose 20 pounds? No, but I'll talk to you about your emotions and your muscles. I says, well, that's fucking stupid and lame and imaginary. So fuck off. I don't understand how coaches can get duped by that dumbass shit while continuing to have like this high road stance on other scams or challenges in the industry or anything like this. It's a lack of thinking for yourself. You become a parrot. And it's a huge problem that I see across the board. You're parroting, you're letting somebody else come through and just spout off their, here's our 6-week challenge, here's our access point to our business. It's no different than you now just parroting somebody else's fitness or technical ideology, methodology onto your social media. So it's dumb. It's not, it's your brand, not theirs. Get their shit off of your shit. Be it about you and be it about your clients. It's very frustrating to watch because you watch coaches and gyms just cut their own throats.
And we can't in good conscience recommend that you build a business model or a business around the idea that you hope that you can get an Olympic athlete or professional athlete to come in and diagnose them. Because 99.9% of the time, you're not doing that. So if you're going to own a business, you got to do something where you actually are helping actual people get things that they want. And make no mistake, this is not shit. The desire to have a coach, whether you are a business or you are just a personal trainer or a coach and you want to get better, this is not shitting on coaches having coaches.
No.
You have to be really, really diligent and understanding is what is it that your coach, your mentor, what are they talking about? Because whatever they're talking about, right? It's the lame thing, right? Whatever you think is what you say, and then whatever you say is what you do. So understand that to where it's if your mentor is not thinking about how they can help you help more people and then talking about it of how you can do that and then literally doing that and they're doing all this other shit over here that scratches that weird deep throat knowledge thing you got going on, it's that can still be interesting, but make no mistake, it doesn't help the business over here. No. So you have you have these two they're conflicting ideologies and conflicting goals. Something can be interesting that also isn't going to help me in my business.
Learning about breathing, learning about breath work. Those are important things to learn. And those are fun little concepts to dive into, a nice little rabbit hole. But if you want to become a breathing business, fucking take your wares elsewhere because nobody gives a fuck. Okay. It can be a component and a thing you talk about in teaching that when you're working with people, it's good for you to know, right? I know how people breathe. I know how it works. I know what I'd like to see when someone's trying. I know when things are a little bit off. Okay. Other than that, do I need to start just spouting all that shit into their ears? No. Do I need to fucking make that my outward branding? Like I know about breathing. No.
What about a breath seminar, Tyler? Could you do a breath seminar?
Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's all this shit. It's just, by the way, and all of those things are non-fitness now. Now you're just doing silly stuff. And then you wonder why you're not getting a bunch of good transformations. And you're wondering why your gym doesn't have a reputation for being the place where people want to go because people get results there. It's like, no, because you go there and you just distract people. You just distract people so that they choose to do something else other than accomplish their goals. You make it about you. And that's the biggest fucking problem with a lot of this stuff. It's when coaches and gym owners start to get all hoity-toity about their dogma and that their fitness methodology outwardly now becomes part of their branding, I'm smart, this is tech. They're just performing that like they're an old samurai performing seppuku, right? They're just like, okay, I'm a super genius now and I'm going to take out my sword. And because I'm going to martyr myself to the fitness industry because all of you guys are so wrong and so many people need to coach fucking better? Like, I don't even understand that position. Are you saying that your people you're competing against in your area are shitty coaches? By the way, if you want to do that, go right at them. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna, but if you're just saying like, there's so many shitty fitness coaches in the world and we're better than, okay, but like that doesn't mean anything to somebody. You're appealing to people far away from you, and you're trying to
Yeah.
get attaboys from other coaches in other gyms that are never going to do any business with you. But if the gym across town has some shitty coaches and all their people get hurt, maybe be petty then. I don't give a shit. I'd rather you do that than you just
Yeah.
spout off
Yeah,
about how
sure.
fucking smart you are. I'd be like, everyone who goes over there gets hurt. That's why so many of them come back here. We've had 10 of them in the last year. Well, that kind of actually is a pretty nice little statement. Maybe a little bit of muckraking, but it's pretty fucking interesting. I'd rather you do that than constantly talk about how smart you are and how I know how the body works. Let me teach you about the inner workings of the breath. Well, Jesus Christ, this just doesn't seem like a very useful leader or a useful lead strategy to go from just Instagram to me wanting to go lose weight and work out with you or get strong, work out. None of those, they don't ever connect any of those dots. And it sucks and it's lame. And all you're doing is just ripping your guts out there in front of everybody.
But you realize what a helpful or productive thought exercise, just the petty example that you give. So the
Yeah.
petty example that you give, right, is that it's go right at the gym across town or the physio across town that is bad. It's bad business, right? It's bad business. They're fucking people up and you want to go right at them. Well, okay, let's think about it. Like but here's where your attention lies. So instead of it lying, like you said, in having a public sacrifice of yourself to the gods, instead you take that same amount of time, that same amount of energy, and you go, how can I fuck with that other business?
Yeah.
And if you don't go right at it, right? Because it's a little bit like burn the boats. Now
Also,
you're very
definitely
publicly
don't go right at this. We're just riffing here.
right. But
But
if you don't do that, but now that's where the thought exercise comes in, where
Yeah.
it's like, well, I know this population, they're going and they're getting fucked up by these people. How can I stop that from happening? One, it won't be burning the shit down on social media. Like that immediately now closes the doors. So how do you start to circumvent that? Well, how are people getting there? How are they getting tricked? Where are those leads coming from to them where they get fucked up and now I have to fix them? It's like, well, then what partnerships can I form? Who can I be talking to? How can I get in front of this target population that's now getting duped by these motherfuckers? And how do I start to be able to help them before they get themselves hurt and before they get tricked? Now you have a much more interesting set
And
of tasks to go do.
and I think there's an interesting take on this thought exercise as well, is that people have a long-term lifetime fitness journey, and your business is going to be positioned somewhere in that amidst your market, somewhere in there. People move from above you, down to you, around you, underneath you, whatever it is, whether it's price, methodology, location, whatever this is. And I think it's really important that you understand that even though this other gym sucks, right? And members leave there because they don't like it or they don't get results or they get hurt and then they end up coming to you. Just know that that may just be because they're cheaper and that people
Right.
will always go there first. And that maybe that's where you're at, is you're the place where people go after they've tried all the cheap little $20 bullshit and they haven't had any accountability and they want to recommit. And because of your price point, you will always be the one that they follow. You know, you can go buy some like 50-cent scissors at Walmart. It's going to suck. And you can buy some $20 scissors at Walmart and it's going to be better. The amount of times I've tried to get by with the cheap shit, sometimes eventually you learn. And in life, there's lots of those things where people are going to buy the cheap shit and they're going to go, damn it, this is one of those things I couldn't get by. I couldn't cheap out on. It didn't work. And I think your gym is going to exist somewhere in that spectrum, somewhere along that continuum. And that's also okay too. It's okay if you're the spot where when people get hurt, the fact that they choose to go to you afterwards is a good sign. It is a good sign. So maybe we don't want to cut off a bunch of low value morons looking to spend $20 and then jam them into our business. That maybe isn't the pathway. But at least now you're thinking about clients, local people, and the things that they will do and their actual journey instead of yourself and why you're so fucking smart as a coach. That's the long and short of it. You need to reframe your thinking. It's not about you being better than everybody else. It's about who can I help? Because this job is it's service. That is what you're doing here. So who can you help? Not how fucking smart you are. Never heard a goddamn mechanic tell me about how much he knows. Never in their advertising. It's never. Did you know that we can fix cars? Our like nobody pitches it because it's a fucking given. So no matter how dumb you say the other people are, they're not going to believe you. They're going to believe every mechanic is relatively qualified. They're going to assume that every gym they go to can do fitness stuff, right? That's just if they're inquiring. I think they're assuming that things are probably at least normal-ish. I have a hard time believing that spouting off like that is doing any good in your area. Certainly not in your area. It's just getting you high fives from coaches from far away who are never going to give any business for. And then even worse, your coach, as a coach, your mentor, whatever this is, they are very excited to see you parroting their nonsense all over your fucking social media. They're stoked about it because you're just parroting their shit. You're
That
marketing
helps
for
them do
them.
what?
You're
Bingo.
marketing for them so they can get you. When coaches are impressed by how much you know as a coach, they're going to go, wow, where did you learn all that stuff? Because my ego needs stroking more than my clients need help. And they tell you, oh, you go to this little coaching group or this little one, this one. And they get in there and they just nerd out on everything except helping people.
And as long as you're helping people, you can be a big fucking dork. Like
Totally.
we literally we've come from this area. We've literally lived it. We've lived super dorky conversations. For fuck's sakes, Tyler, you did like hundreds of episodes of dorky shit talking about super dorky.
200 hours of the most in-depth stuff you could possibly imagine into those things. And in the end, it's like, well, you see how little a lot of these coaches care about the actual people and how little on the ground, none of them are embracing or promoting or even talking about the successes that their clients are having. Never was about them. It was never about helping anybody. That's where some of these things, that's where you get these, you're like, oh, I see these coaches using education as a distraction to hide from the fact that they're not actually helping clients lose weight or get in shape. And they'd rather be smart than good. And that's a problem. So be both, you fucking idiots. Let's get going here. So thanks for listening, everybody. This is a nice ranty little episode. We ran a little long. I like it. So follow the show at the Gym Owners Revolution on Instagram. Follow me at Tyler Effenstone. And John?
You can follow me on Instagram at jbanksfl.
Go to, or it's Gym Owners Podcast on Instagram. Go to gymownersrevolution.com. All right. Get in the Facebook group. Links in the show notes. If you want to work with us directly, shoot us a message at thedudes@hackyourgym.com. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next week.